Hey, it's girl Monique 69 Ways Johnson. I'm here with another recap review of the Braxtons season 1, episode 3. Um, so we're just gonna get right into it. So we know what they had deal with the grief therapy session last episode. So that was the end of that. That grief session lasted 2 episodes. So this episode is like the next day. So we meet up with um Mama E and Trina and Tawana. They are having lunch. As they was ordering their food and drinks, um, Tawana got a call from Lil Kevin, so he is locked up. And they said it was something had to do with this messy divorce he's going through, and also he failed to appear in court due to the messiness of the divorce he's going through with I guess soon to be ex-wife, and Tavius, I guess the family lawyer will handle it. So yeah, so that's why he got locked up. I guess that was the warrant for us to fail to appear in court. And they also talked about Trina's piped up also said that she will need to see Spirit, the grief therapist, individually. She don't mind because she knows, because she the one that really was open and had a breakdown about her feeling of Tracy death, because since she was one of the siblings that was there, no, the only sibling that was there to see Tracy took her last breath, and it's been really hard on her. So the therapist said that she got post traumatic stress disorder. I think that's what it is. Correct me if I'm wrong. So so she needs some solo therapy with Miss Spirit, and I agree because that's a lot on Trina, and she got to try to get through this grief process and what she went through. And Mama E piped up and spoke up about how she disappointed that the girls didn't get along because that was Tracy's last wish, or saying that when she's gone, she wants them, like, I guess, to get closer or get along. I'm like, it'd be great if Tracy death would bring them closer, but they didn't get along before Tracy got sick. So it's like, it'd be great, but some families do get closer, but sometimes a death can pull a family even more apart. So it just depends on the individual person how they gonna deal with the grief and with the other family members. And also Mama E talk about how everybody has a wall, how they so guarded with their feelings. She knew everybody before this TV stuff, and Trina is like the only I guess child of hers to be willing to be vulnerable and open up, because we saw her be vulnerable and open up about her feelings in the past on the Braxton family values. So Trina don't have no problem when it comes down to it to be vulnerable and open up and cry on camera or what have you, or express her feelings. And but she knows that her other children, Tawanda, Tony, and Tamar, has a wall, and how they guard their true feelings, don't want to express it, and they keep it guarded. So yeah, so that was that scene. Then we also get another scene of Tony meeting with her manager Kenneth and music supervisor Walter to talk about the upcoming Vegas show that she has with Cedric the Entertainer. And she expressed like it's cool to have a co-host, or yeah, a co-host, to not a co-host but a collab for as a show, so it don't all have to be on her, because she don't have to be the only one entertaining, because if you're the only one that's entertaining, you have to go back to back to back. And we know that Toni has lupus and a heart problem, and she gets tired, so she needs that break in between songs or sets, what have you. And Cedric is the perfect, or yeah, he's the perfect person to come in and entertain the people with his comedy and stuff, and it get her a break while he's doing his entertainment, and she could be resting in the back and get ready for the next number, I guess. And she said if it's one of those days where she get really tired, they will have to cut a song short. And she's not the only artist that does it. Other artists that done it too, who don't have a health problem. So yeah, so I understand when she said cut that song short. Like, if it's one of them days I'm feeling tired, you gotta cut that short, okay? So I understood in that, and yeah, so she worried about the show. So we get a scene with Miss E and Tamar. They are doing a cooking show called All That Deliciousness on Clio TV. Trina was their I guess special guest, and Trina was there to show her mixology skills, because she had I don't even know if it still exists, bar chicks. I remember she started that business when it was the Braxton family values. So she was showing her mixology skills with the drinks, and they made some drinks and desserts. And then we get a scene of Miss E and Tamar taking a walk in the park, and Miss E says she'd been to this park before, walking with a guy friend. Tamar would get her the third degree of drilling her, like who and what and where, why and how. And she said, Miss E said she got boyfriends and girlfriends. I'm like, I know that's right. Anyway, Miss E asked Tamar how her book coming along, because Tamar is working on a book. So she said this book is about her life journey, and since she constantly is in therapy, she constantly working on herself, and she wants to express herself in a book. So, and she said she don't have no title for it yet. So yeah, and she said she's constantly in therapy. It's kind of hard to tell. I don't know if therapy working for her, because sometimes like her public antics or her rants, I don't know, it could be therapeutic for her on these public rants when something happened with someone she's dealing with. So I don't know. So who knows? Then we also get a scene of Toni in rehearsal. So she's a month out for Showtime. She's a month out from the first show of the residency with Cedric the Entertainer. She's rehearsing, doing choreography, and like she was, keeping up at a good pace. And after the rehearsal, after she was doing the dance or two choreography, she went outside, took a call with Tawanda, and Tawanda told Toni that little Kevin was released from jail, and she didn't know that right away because he didn't call her, what have you. And they just a little concerned for their nephew because they far away. I mean, they don't live in the same state, and Toni wish she could be there for him, but she can't travel too much because she just got through traveling from Atlanta. So she really can't be traveling too much in her condition. So, she kind of feel bad about that part, and she wished she could be there, like, physically for her nephew. And Tony expressed also that after the grief therapy session, it felt heavy for her. All that, I guess, emotions everybody was sharing. Well, Trina was sharing, Mama E said how she felt. It was like, especially Trina, but and what happened with Lil Kevin when he was on the Zoom call. She said it was heavy. So Tawana told her that Trina will be seeing Miss Spirit solo, and Tawana asked Tony when she gonna see a grief therapist. And Tony, reluctantly like, yeah, no, I need to see one. I need to sleep in bed because I guess she got to stay there every day to see a grief therapist. But I don't know. I wonder if today's time is Tony really considered seeing a grief therapist or some kind of therapist, because it's still something she's holding on to, because Tawanda applaud Tony for speaking how she felt. And Tony was like, she didn't say none of those things, and she really didn't want to talk about it. And that was like the end of the scene. And then cut to commercials. I'm like, oh, okay. I guess she don't want to talk about it. Everybody got their own way of dealing with it, but you gotta get some tools to push through it, so you can be in it for so long. So yeah, so that was the end of the scene. She didn't want to talk about it. Yeah, so we get a scene where we see Trina having a session with Miss Spirit, and they was talking about her nightmares. She said, Trina cannot sleep. She's having a hard time sleep for the past 2 years. She hates to close her eyes. And she said the nightmares, different things replay in her head. Trina said that she is not ready to discuss about the snapshots of the movie that is constantly on repeat in her head when she's trying to sleep or what have you. Spirit said if it hurt for you to touch it, it lives in you until you touch it, and you can't help, and that she can't help fix it if she can't let it go. I'm like, okay, yeah, that's one way to put it. Spirit asks her, so you're not been in control of what you think, and have you ever been? She said no. Then Trina said she was. I guess she said yes and no, because it's like how you. So do you control what you think? And she said, has you ever? I think she said no, and then she said, have you ever been? She said yes, and then Trina said she was punished by her now husband Vaughn, when she was grieving her husband Gabe, because we all know when they were still doing Braxton Family Values, he passed away due to cancer, and like no one knew, like the fans didn't know that he was. I didn't know he was sick, going through with cancer. So, and she said that Vaughn was like, I'm not going to sit around while you grieve another dude. When she said that, I'm like, you act like this dude was a total stranger off the street. And then she said she's not grieving. She had to tell him that she's not grieving Gabe in that way, She said she grieving the dude who took care of her kids, and she and was in her life for like over 16 years. So, and then I guess and she said that just don't. Yeah, when you've been with someone over 16 years, and even though y'all got a divorce or what have you, the way it ended, he just don't get over that overnight. Like, and he was there in the kids' lives. They really young, so yeah. And then when she said she explained it to him and showed that she really loved him, I guess he understood and he came around. So I guess things are now better in that apartment. So yeah, and Spirit asked Trina, like, what did she see when she closed her eyes? And no, before that, she Trina shared that Gabe used to visit her in her dreams, and now Tracy. And she said when it was Gabe, it was like not no weird, creepy stuff. It was just, some regular nice stuff. So and now Tracy is visiting her in her dreams. She said, and she also shared that when she do close her eyes, she see Tracy ill, and she said she also see Tracy life taken out of her body. So basically her last breath. And that's that is terrifying to have that replay in your head. So I remember when my brother passed, he visited me in my dream. So I get that, and then eventually it went away. He hasn't visited me in my dreams in a long time. So it only happened when it was really fresh. So yeah, so now it's been like about 15, 16 years since he passed. So no, 18 years since he's passed. So yeah, I get it. So yeah, that happens. Trina also shared with Spirit that she feared that the sisters would grow, them as sisters would grow even more apart and stuff like that. And she said they used to talk more, but they really don't talk like that anymore, like they used to. When she said that, it made me think about Tony, what she said about the family and the family grief therapy session they had, and she said that her parents like drilled them like it's family's important and help your family, put your family first, and all the yada yada. And that they've been probably drilled in their mind for so long. And then as soon as they got older and created their own family, they probably ran like hell. And and want to be individuals, so like live their own lives. So but she said they grew apart. Like, how close were you guys in the family Braxton? I can't even never say it. The Braxton family values. It seemed like they wasn't all that close. Everybody was doing their own thing. I mean, it was more good times. They had more good times than they have now. It's like well, when it got towards later in the seasons of the Braxton family values, everybody got like estranged, and then Tracy got sick. So that's what it felt like to me. So I don't know. Yeah, so that's her fear. They growing more apart, and what they already are. So then we get another scene of Trina at home. Her and Vaughn are packing. They going to DC to see her dad, and it would be her dad and brother. And I guess they're gonna meet Tawanda and her guy out there. And they also gonna see Lil Kevin. Well, want try to see Lil Kevin. And they said they haven't heard from Lil Kevin in several days, and it'd be good to put their eyes on him. So yeah, and Vaughn called out Trina because due to he said she is dodging a conversation with him about the session. He knows she had a session, but after the session, she came home. She was like quiet and distant a little bit. So he noticed like a shift in her mood, and she just said she was like, I guess, in her thoughts after her session with Spirit. And I understand that. And I guess he just waiting to hear what happened. And I think Trina in her confessional said she is already a hard time dealing with grief therapy, but to have a conversation outside it is tough. I guess she's not ready to really divulge in those kind of conversations outside of the therapy session. I think that's what she said. I'm paraphrasing. I don't know if that's what she exactly said, but it was something like to that extent. But yeah, so he noticed that her mood shifted after the session, and he said he don't need the details. He just want to know what's going on. And she just said she just talked about her sister Tracy. I'm like, did they edit something out? Because they also brought up Gate, her husband, and how he used to visit her dreams and stuff like that, and how you were. So she probably just didn't, I don't know if it was the editing or she just didn't tell him what really every detail that went down. But you definitely know now because it aired. So yeah, and it's nothing too deep if you do get upset, but he shouldn't be because they got through it, so whatever. And she also talked about Tony sharing about her health, like she's afraid because Trina said, I can pillow talk with you. Tony doesn't have anyone. She's single and still not married. She's unmarried. And she's afraid because her health is getting worse. And she's afraid she will no longer be with them anymore, like in a physical sense. And yeah, so she thinks that Tony needs therapy too. And Vaughn said he agree. He said, but we can talk about all that later. We got to finish packing and stuff like that. So yeah, that was that scene. Then we get a scene where Tawanda like getting her Tesla, and she's going to pick up her kids, Brooke and I think Braxton. It was good seeing them. And she also discussed her relationships and her taking care of her kids and how she got a doctorate and humanitarian. And she picked up the kids, Brooke and Braxton. I believe that's their names because I remember them from the Braxton Family Values, seeing their little faces. Now they are 17 and 18, so they are really grown up. And it was good to see their faces. Look like a respectable young lady and young man. So yeah, so she was just telling them that she got to travel DC and go check on Pop. I think that's what they call Granddad. Pop and Uncle Mikey and Lil Kevin. And they're like, "Can we go?" She's like, y'all got school. Let's check on that homework." He said like midterms or something was coming up or something, and and stuff like that. And before she picked him up, she did try to call Lil Kevin. She called him Scratchy or whatever. And it kept going to this, like, the person cannot take calls right now. It was giving like the tone like you ain't pay your bill or something. Like the phone was off or something. So she called, like, tried twice before she picked up the kids. So yeah. So they got home, and then production is there. It's like, okay, they got a good scene. And then production was like, wait, hold up. So, or I think they showrunner Orgy had got in touch with, I guess, Daddy Braxton and trying to get in touch with Lil Kevin. So Lil Kevin called the showrunner, or I think that's his name, Orgy or something. That's one said. That's the showrunner name for the show. And she took his calls because he said that when he got released, they didn't give him his phone back. And he said, I know I had my phone, and I gave him my phone. So he's out without a phone. So that's why he didn't call, was unable to call them. So it's good to hear that. And she was glad to hear his voice, and we was glad to hear that's the reason, because she's like worried. And she also said that Lil Kevin, like, after Tracy died, he also have a health problem with seizures, and that's major. Like, one bad seizure and you can fall to your death. So that is sad to hear that he has that health problem after his mother's passing. So yeah, she was glad to hear, and she said she was her and Trina and their significant others are coming to visit them. So yeah, and that was like the end of the episode. Like, the next episode gonna be explosive. So yeah, I'm looking forward to the next episode. And this episode called Family Matters is like, does it? I guess. Yeah, let me know your comments down below about Trina's session with Spirit and Lil Kevin's situation and Tamar and Mama E. So yeah, let me know your thoughts. Make sure you like the video, share, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye. On track, now we gon' way up. Double use as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up.